Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's the CD guy, Johnny Z here. Thank you so much for tuning back into the channel, and today I'm going to be creating the ultimate Pantera setlist for their 2023 reunion tour. Now, if you saw the video that I did a few days ago here on the channel talking about, my thoughts on the Pantera reunion, you know that I'm not in support fully of this reunion here. I disagree with them continuing as Pantera without Dimebag, Darrell, and Vinnie Paul. But that said, since that video was announced, the news broke that Zakk Wylde from Black Label Society and Charlie Benante from Anthrax would be filling in the place of Dimebag and Vinnie Paul. So that is some very good news, and I do have a lot of faith in that lineup. I think it could be very strong, and I'm sure the concerts will be solid, although I still disagree with them continuing under the Pantera name without Dimebag and Vinnie Paul. I'm not going to deny that it could be a fun tour, so today I'm going to try to have a little bit of fun with the topic. I'm going to try to put together what I think is the ultimate dream Pantera setlist for this 2023 reunion/tribute tour, whatever you want to call it. People seem to be using those terms interchangeably, even though they are pretty different marketing terms. Many people are calling it a reunion, while others are calling it a tribute. So I guess at this point, it is kind of what you want it to be in your head, whether it's a reunion or a tribute. But today, I'm going to be putting together what I think is the best possible set list for this upcoming tour. I'm going to kick things off here with Hellbound off of Reinventing The Steel from 2000, their final record, and this track is the first track on their final album. So I think it'd be really cool if they started off their shows here with Hellbound and kind of a way to come full circle, if you will, 23 years later to kick things off with the first track from their last album here. Hellbound, a fantastic deep cut, an excellent album opener as well, a great vocal performance by Phil Anselmo, and just in my opinion, one of the most underrated Pantera tracks off of one of their most underrated albums. Reinventing the Steel is a record that doesn't get a lot of respect from a lot of people, and, for whatever reason, people think that it's one of the worst Pantera records, when I really don't understand that. I think there's some great material on here, including Hellbound, so I think a perfect way to kick off the 2023 tour, and their set lists on that tour would be with Hellbound, the first song off of their final album, as kind of a way to come full circle. Following up Hellbound here, I'm going to go with a new level of a Vulgar Display of Power from 1992. The first of 5 songs here from Vulgar Display I'm going to be including on this list, on this set list for 2023. And when it comes to some of the sickest breakdowns in the Pantera catalog, and they have many, but when it comes to some of the all-time best breakdowns, I think a new level definitely has to be in discussion here. An incredible track, super heavy, and it's got an amazing breakdown like I was talking about. I think definitely one of the best from Vulgar Display, and like I said, it's the first of 5 tracks from this album I'm going to be including here. I think it's a perfect way to follow up Hellbound, and it's number 2 here on the set list. I'm going to go with a new level. For track number 3, I'm going to combine 2 tracks, that being Domination and Hollow, together, just like Pantera did on 101 Proof, and, it's okay if I steal a little bit from one of the greatest live albums of all time when putting a set list together, and, when it comes to some of the best song combinations in metal history, I think Domination and Hollow being merged into each other, the band playing one half of one track and then one half of the other, really does mesh really, really well, in my opinion, and it sounds fantastic here on 101 Proof, so I wanted to include it in this set list here. So for track number 3, I'm going to go with a combination of Domination and Hollow. For track number 4, I'm going to delve into 1994's Far Beyond Driven for I'm Broken, and this album has just some of my all-time favorite Pantera guitar riffs on here, and I'm Broken is no exception. An incredible track, it's super heavy, and I think Phil Anselmo's vocals here in the chorus are aggressive and second to none. It also translates really well to a live setting here, so for those reasons, track number 4 is going to be I'm Broken off of Far Beyond Driven from 1994. Sticking with the Far Beyond Driven record here for track number 5, I'm going to go with Slaughtered. A really underrated track from this record, and it's a total standout for me from Far Beyond Driven, which is just an absolutely packed, loaded album full of great song after great song after great song, and I think Slaughtered is right up there with some of the best from this record. It's incredible stuff, and Phil Anselmo on lead vocals with possibly his best vocal performance of all time, at least in my opinion. Just incredible stuff here. Definitely, like I said, a standout from Far Beyond Driven, and a song that doesn't get talked about half as much as it should, in my opinion at least. So sticking with Far Beyond Driven here for track number 5, I'm going to go with Slaughtered. Going back to Vulgar Display of Power here from 1992 for track number 6, I'm going to go with This Love. It's one of Pantera's best known tracks, it's a fan favorite, and, the sheer power and aggression in the chorus of this song is just unmatched, incredible stuff, and you got to include it here. I can't put together a Pantera setlist without including This Love, and that'll be a theme for a number of songs here as we get deeper into this setlist, but got to include This Love, an absolute fan favorite and one of their best known tracks, coming in at number 6, track number 6 here in this 2023 set list. Got to go with This Love off a Vulgar Display of Power. You know, in addition to some of Pantera's greatest hits, I also wanted to throw in a few deep cuts here and there as well in this hypothetical 2023 set list. So that said, for track number 7 here, I'm going to go with an awesome deep cut from Cowboys From Hell from 1990, and that is Medicine Man. A personal favorite for me, and it's definitely one of the most overlooked songs on Cowboys From Hell, which I would say is one of their most famous albums, and is just so loaded with great track after great track that Medicine Man tends to get lost in the shuffle a little bit, and that's understandable, but it's a killer song from side 2 here on this record. It features Phil Anselmo channeling his inner Rob Halford on lead vocals, as well as a killer guitar riff here by Dimebag Darrell. Just great stuff on the super underrated deep cut, and I definitely wanted to include it here and shed a little bit of light on one of Pantera's most underrated tracks, that is Medicine Man off of side 2 of Cowboys From Hell. Criminally underrated, like I said, and definitely deserving of some appreciation here, so that's why I wanted to throw it in this set list here, coming in at track number 7. Back to the Far Beyond Driven record here for track number 8, I'm going to go with 5 Minutes Alone, and this track features not just one of my favorite Pantera guitar riffs, but one of my all-time favorite guitar riffs, period. You know, it's a super heavy riff that's definitely groove metal oriented, definitely one of Dimebag Darrell's best, and this track also features really aggressive vocals and thick bass lines by Rex Brown. And all in all, I think it's definitely one of the best Pantera songs in their catalog, and another one of those songs that I would be a fool not to include in this hypothetical track listing here for a potential set list in 2023. So for track number 8, I'm going to go with one of the all-time best guitar riffs in the Pantera catalog, and that is 5 Minutes Alone here off of Far Beyond Driven. For the first time in this set list, we go to 1996 for the Great Southern Trendkill, and this is one of my all-time favorite Pantera albums. It's a top 2 Pantera album for me, in my opinion at least. It features some of their heaviest tracks, and even some songs that aren't necessarily heavy from like a technical perspective, from, you know, rapid fire playing, some that are heavy from just the atmosphere that they set, as well as the lyrics and delivery by Phil Anselmo. And Tens, which is going to be track number 9 here, is no exception. An incredibly heavy track, despite being one of the slower songs on this album, and that's okay, because what it lacks in, you know, heaviness from, you know, a fast-paced perspective, it makes up with just really heavy vocals on here, really awesome delivery, and just a menacing atmosphere like I was talking about a little bit before. Tens, one of my favorite songs from this great album here, the Great Southern Trendkill, and had to include something from Trendkill in this set list here, so coming in at track number 9, I'm going to go with Tens. For track number 10, I'm going to go with one of Pantera's most legendary and recognizable tracks, and that is Cemetery Gates here off of Cowboys From Hell from 1990. A little bit ballad heavy for Pantera, but this is definitely one of their best, no doubt about it here, and of course you have that ungodly high note by Phil Anselmo, once again channeling his inner Rob Halford. Incredible stuff on here, and another one of Pantera's greatest hits that would have no business not being in a Pantera set list, so got to include it here, and for good reason. Coming in at track number 10 here, I'm going to go with Cemetery Gates off of Cowboys From Hell from 1990. I guess now would be a good time to say that there are 15 tracks on here, so we've got 5 more left. So coming in for track number 11, I'm going to go with the second song that I'm going to be including from Reinventing the Steel from 2000, their final album. That is Revolution Is My Name. Again, I'm not really understanding the hate for Reinventing the Steel and why a lot of people don't seem to like it. I think it's incredible, and it's one of my favorite Pantera albums, so definitely wanted to include more than one song here from Reinventing the Steel. Great stuff, and I think Revolution Is My Name is another one of my favorites from this album. Definitely deserving of a spot in the setlist, in my opinion. Really heavy, memorable track here from their last record, and, you know, let's just hope this stays as their last record. I would definitely not be in support of the band releasing another album under the Pantera name without the Abbott brothers, but for this tour, I think it'd be really cool to play some stuff from their last and most recent album, Reinventing the Steel, here. So the second and final song I'm going to be including from Reinventing the Steel is Revolution Is My Name. For track number 12, I'm going to continue with the theme of songs that definitely need to be included in a Pantera set list here, so I'm going to go with Mouth for War off of Vulgar Display of Power from 1992. And this song features, in my opinion, some of the best Pantera riffing on here. Really awesome groove-oriented guitar riffing by Dimebag Darrell, which just sounds fantastic, and all in all, it's one of Pantera's most memorable tracks, and definitely one of those memorable off of Vulgar Display here from 92. An incredible album that's loaded with great material, but Mouth for War is definitely a standout track for me, so had no choice but to include it here. It's an essential Pantera track, and it definitely belongs in a Pantera set list, so for number 12 here, track number 12, I'm going to go with Mouth for War. Track number 13 is going to be my all-time favorite Pantera song off of the Great Southern Trendkill album from 1996. I'm going to go with Floods. I mean, what can I possibly say about Floods? You know, the lyrics are so cool. The delivery by Phil Anselmo is incredible. It's got this really awesome, eerie atmosphere to it. It tells a great story. And then, of course, you have that incredible Dimebag Darrell guitar solo. Definitely one of the all-time best. And I would definitely be really interested and intrigued in hearing Zakk Wylde's interpretation of that guitar solo in a live setting. I think that would be really interesting, so definitely had to include Floods here off of the Great Southern Trendkill album for track number 13. A must-have in any Pantera setlist, in my opinion, so I had to include it. It's my favorite Pantera song, and it's got that awesome guitar solo to boot, which is just the icing on the cake, in my opinion. Great stuff, legendary track, and like I said, it's got to be here. Track number 13, got to go with Floods off of the Great Southern Trendkill. After Floods, the band will leave the stage and then come back on for an encore, playing 2 tracks, and the first of 2 tracks I'm going to be including here in the encore is Walk from Vulgar Display of Power, and, you know, what can I say? It's Walk. You got to include it. It's a legendary Pantera track, probably the most recognizable guitar riff in heavy metal history, and it's a great crowd sing-along, a fan favorite, and definitely one of Pantera's all-time best, so you got to include it here to kick off the encore. I'm going to go with Walk from Vulgar Display of Power. For track number 15, the final song in the encore here, and the last song of the concert, it's got to be Cowboys From Hell, the title track to their 1990 album that changed the course of heavy metal, and definitely changed the course of the Pantera catalog, because this album marks the band moving from that glam metal sound to a much more heavy groove metal approach here, so this album, and this song in particular, marks a big change in the Pantera catalog, and would prove to be one of the most anthemic songs in their catalog as well, so I think it's the perfect way to close out the set list here with Cowboys From Hell. The title track here, it's a legendary track, it's got great vocals by Phil Anselmo, killer guitar riff, just everything you want here from a Pantera song. It's the essential Pantera track, and in my opinion, it's one of their best, so it's got to close out the encore here with track number 15. I'm going to go with Cowboys From Hell. So that wraps up this hypothetical 2023 Pantera set list, which should be visible right over here. And, you know, I shared my thoughts on the Pantera reunion in a video I did a few days ago here on the channel. You know, I still am not really in support of this Pantera tour. I think that they definitely shouldn't call themselves Pantera without Dimebag, Darrell, and Vinnie Paul. But, you know, since they are going along with this tour here, I thought it'd be fun to have a little bit of fun with it here today and create a set list that I would like to hear as part of the 2023 reunion. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel down below, turn on the bell for notifications to be notified of a new upload, and let me know down in the comments below, what are your thoughts on this set list, and what are some tracks you would like to see on the 2023 Pantera reunion tour. Let me know all that good stuff down in the comments. I'd be very interested in hearing what you guys have to say, so let me know your opinions in the comments below. And until next time, it's the CD guy, Johnny Z, signing off. Take care, everybody.